And just to add to what you were saying, Chandna, I'd been asking for a TTTE class and had written even to Shannon and connected with the magicians of entities in Europe. And it would be like, okay, maybe the time. And I didn't know that the entities actually wanted me to create a class, not just do a class.
Yeah.
And it's been so expensive, and there have been so many times when I've gone into that, I think I've taken on more than I can handle more.
Yes.
And
Yes.
felt as if I was just squished underneath, and every time I said, okay, I'm squished, but I still choose this class. And Reshma or you would just bail me out.
God, thank you for that, sweetheart. Absolutely, you're squished, but I still choose the class. That's just the energy, right? And yes, when you're hosting, a lot of squishiness does happen.
Could I add to this? Every time Ruchika messages me, she's like, Reshma, this is not happening, or that's not happening. And like, it's okay, just follow your knowing. And she has out-created herself in multiple folds, I must say.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And
so just welcoming
that, also knowing that there's somebody like Anita Luce, who's just such a warm, such an energy of nurturing, truly, who's always there for us. I think that creates so much greater.
Absolutely.
Three of you, Ruchika and Anita, who have truly been the creators for this class, and the universe, of course. And what else is possible? Truly, what else is possible? Wow.
Absolutely.
I think we can start now, because we do have, So who's going to start the conversation? Ruchika, let's have you jump on.
All right. Hi, let me just introduce myself again. I'm a bars facilitator living in the Netherlands, Dutch of Indian origin, mother to 3 children, 16 and 14 almost, of 2 boys, and my darling daughter, she turned 7, all 3 in November.
That was a nice month. Fun.
Absolutely. And I'd always been interested in energy work, and kept coming across many modalities, never trained in any of them. And the minute somebody mentioned access consciousness and said, do you know why it's all happening the way it is with you? You're a humanoid. It just felt like coming home, because what humanoids are is what I'd been feeling all along, but couldn't put anything to it. And creating from that space of no wrongness, just being, has just expanded every moment of my life. And the kind of asks and insatiability to live is now like it was never before. And connecting and creating consciousness just kept growing within me until I became a bars facilitator, and now I'm hosting Chandana for this class. So welcome everybody to this beautiful space of creation, and what else is possible that we can create in this half an hour. So Chandana, take us through to the entities that we are all very curious about, maybe have some fear about.
Thank you.
But I know that consciousness is a space where you don't judge anything. And so let's say hello to the entities.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful introduction, Ruchika. Thank you for being that space of ease and that space of truly allowing, being the allowance of a class like Talk to the Entities. Because that is a class, that is to be sitting in a class like that, to be facilitating a class like that. It truly tests you in the name of judgment. Like, okay, how many judgments do we have of entities, of what entities are, that keep us from actually receiving even the information of entities? Leave aside receiving from the entities. It's like there's so much of fear, there's so much of insecurity, so much of unsureness, as in I don't know what that is all about. And when you think you don't know something, there's a certain amount of insecurity that sets in. And so for me, it's been, my life has totally expanded since I've become a TTTE facilitator. Just talking a little bit about before I chose to become a TTTE facilitator. I've been a CF certified facilitator of access consciousness now for about more than 2 years. Been in access consciousness for more than 4 years now. And I have not tried a lot of energy work, because I have been, uh, I have, I have, I've done a lot of meddling and, playing around with religion, with spirituality, with a little bit about energy work. Energy work really didn't invite me at all, because I found it really hocus pocus. And I was like, what the crap is this? I mean, who's trying to be God here? That was always for me. It was like, these people are trying to be God. And I'm not interested in, energy work. Till actually I stumbled onto access consciousness. And this was one fabulous modality which was not talking about you being God. It was talking about you empowering the world, empowering everybody around you, because everybody is an infinite being. And that was something which just so attracted me, because it was finally about not saying that, hey, I'm greater than you because I know what you don't know. It was actually about, hey, what are you aware of that you're not willing to be aware of? And that for me has been so expansive and creating so much in my reality, so much in my universe, so much with my kids. I have 2 beautiful daughters. One is 26, and one is turning 16. And my older one is also a CF. And my husband loves access consciousness. He loves the tools. So much gets created for the whole family. And again, speaking about TTTE, I was always resisting it, because it was this energy that I wasn't willing to go into. I was not willing to receive from, because I was unsure of what it is. When I finally was willing to do the TTTE, it was because my body was in so much of pain. I had been suffering with fibromyalgia for many years, and access consciousness totally changed that for me. I mean, I changed it with the tools of access consciousness. And when again, I was sitting in a foundation class, facilitating a class, and somebody said in that class, could you please start to facilitate, talk to the entities? And I said, no. My response was, it was almost like a reaction. It was like, no, I'm never going to facilitate that class. That's a space I'm not going into. And for all of you who've done the foundation, we have a little section of talk to the entities, in the class. And that's when the conversation came up. And strangely enough, after that conversation, my body went into a lot of pain. It was like, what is this? I mean, I don't get this pain. I have been able to change my body. And why is this pain coming up again? I asked a lot of questions. I was being very aware with the pain, and I knew it's something that my body is wanting to speak to me about. But I was not willing, even then, to receive the awareness. So it took me a lot of asking questions for almost 4 to 5 months after that, pushing my barriers down and being willing to receive, being willing to be the vulnerability of whatever awareness shows up without fearing it, was when it popped that go for the facilitators. And even then, I have to share, even then, for me, it was like, no, I'm not going for the facilitators. That's not a class I want to facilitate. And that's when it was like, oh my God, my body was like, oh, and that's when I said, okay, fine, I'm choosing the facilitators. And for all of you on this call, I really would like you to know that was the moment. That was the moment when the pain just left. It didn't take a second. It took a moment. I mean, a moment is 1/100th of a second, guys. It took a moment, and the pain of those 6 months was gone. It was just gone by that one choice. I mean, I hadn't even, and this was just 2 weeks. In 2 weeks was the facilitators. I didn't have my visa. I did not have the prereqs. I didn't even know if I had the money at that time.
Then I
And I
have a
just
question.
chose it. I said, I'm choosing it. There and then I registered for it, and I realized I had the money. I realized I got the visa within 10 days. And that's how the pain just went.
Chandana,
Yeah.
what was that pain? I mean, I know I'm not trying to understand it logically. However, was that an awareness to choose greater? What was it?
Sweetheart, awareness of entities, awareness of anything on this planet, awareness of anything in this universe is the source of your creation. That is the source of creation. And when we shut down an awareness, when we shut down the capacity that we have, it shows up as pain, as discomfort in our body generally, because that's the universe telling you, hey, you have a capacity. What are you shutting down? It shows up in the body, it shows up in your relationships, it shows up with money, it shows up in all sorts of ways, but we are not willing to receive it. Anything that
Can I
you're not
ask a
willing to
question? Yeah,
change
sorry.
is an awareness that you are resisting. Yeah, Ruchika, go ahead, darling.
If we just bring it to the entities, because awareness is, let's say, if you're using a smartphone, then your Wi-Fi is the awareness, and then you have different apps on it. Huh? I'm just trying to get.
Instead, I'm going to copy that in my classes.
You're most welcome. So, like Meena Tavarti here asked this fantastic question: how do we be in awareness of entities? So, if I just connect that to the smartphone, you have different apps for different things. So, when you have an entities app, so how do you know which app to know about when?
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it's not technical.
I know, of course.
Comes boom.
Yeah.
Awareness is something that we can't ask for how, right? I mean, this goes to
Absolutely.
Meena. It's like, we can't really ask for, and thank you for that question, because that is where most of us come up from, that how can I have awareness of entities? How do I see entities? How do I hear entities? How do I feel entities? The thing is that we are always constantly aware of them. It's more of we're not willing to be aware of them,
Ah,
right? It's like
got it.
that, yeah. So that's what it is. It's like we are constantly aware of it. It's a capacity we all have, but we're not willing to be aware of it, which is what shuts down the awareness and creates pain, agony, discomfort in our bodies and in our spaces.
So Kanika asks, are there any signs or symbols of
Yes,
them?
there are. Thank you. Yeah, babes. There are lots of signs, lots of there are signs, like it could be just you could just suddenly sense somebody standing behind you, and you turn around and hey, there's nothing. And then you say, oh, it's me, stupid me. No, that's not stupid you, that's your awareness. So when you start to recognize and when you start to acknowledge your awareness, is when the awareness starts to build even further. Right? It's when we say, no, stupid me, nothing there and I'm just scared, or no, stupid me, there's nothing there and I don't know, I'm just hearing things and I'm just seeing things. That's when you shut down your awareness. Right? Yeah. And
So when we go in for a talk to the entities class, we are stepping in there with the awareness already present, and you would take us through how to create with it. Am I right?
Absolutely. So when we do the talk to the entities beginnings, which I am facilitating for 2 days, and the introduction, which is, we call it a 2.5. It's basically an introduction and 2 days. And when we do that class, it's like tapping into, having you tap into your awareness and receiving from your awareness, and having the ease with your awareness. Because in my case, I was having the awareness. And many of you on this call have the awareness, which is probably what has you on this call today. And it's when we shut down our awareness that doesn't allow you to receive from them. So what are entities, right? I mean, it's like a call that I heard once from Shannon, which was just so beautiful. She just asked a question that, how would you like to be treated when you were dead? Would you like your loved ones to see you or to sense that you were there and to be terrified of you overnight? I mean, how unkind is that, right? A mom or a dad or a granddad or a grandmom who you've loved all your life, and just because they don't have a body anymore, you suddenly fear them. And how much can that change if you just know that, hey, what if I can facilitate them into something that's greater by having them know that they can choose a body, or they can choose a different dimension? Or it's just as easy as saying, just facilitating an entity is just as easy as sometimes saying, hey, hi. That's it.
So, Chana, it doesn't really have to be scary, right? Like, what are the...
So what is that? That's one of the greatest misconceptions of talk to the entities, basically. It's ghosts, it's spirits, it's these demons, it's this, these vampires and all these different names that we have for entities, which is with this fear comes from movies, from films, from advertisements, from TV serials, from books. That's where this fear generally comes from. And it's so strange, because when we're sitting in classes sometimes, and it's like these people, and generally those come into classes who have immense fear of entities. They want to come out of the fear of entities. They're like, I don't want to be scared of entities. I want to be able to sleep at night without the fear, and I want to be able to sleep at night with the lights off. It's just that simple. And that's what gets them to talk to the entities class. And when we are facilitating the class, it's so amazing, because these very people come up and they say, oh my God, you know what? I just got this awareness that I was all of 2 when I saw this movie. And that's where this fear comes from. So it's really not a truth. Fear is one of the greatest lies that you have bought into. And what age did you buy that fear? What if you could just spot and pocket and say, uh-oh, it's just a lie that I've been living all my life. And now it's a choice to have that fear, or to look at it as a capacity. And now, what can you create with that? I mean, fear of entities, talking to the entities, the very concept of entities, it's not good, it's not bad, it's not a judgment of it being right or wrong. It just is. It's just a choice.
Right. We have a couple of questions, Chandana, where Kanika is asking, why are they more active in the night?
Yes, why are they more active in the night? Well, let's just say that our barriers are more down while we are sleeping. So our willingness to receive awareness from them is greater than it is otherwise.
Right. And she says, okay, after there is awareness, then what? What do we do with that?
Yeah, that's what you need to do with that, right? You need to be in the class, talk to the entities. And which is why Ruchika and I are going to be having fun in Holland together with the entities.
We'll,
Absolutely.
Yes, and
Chandana, I have a question.
we also
Yeah,
have
hi,
classes all
Gagan.
over India. So do get in touch with Chandana or me for that.
Yes. In fact, it's all over India. We have a class coming up in Hyderabad, and Kanika is hosting me there. Awesomeness. Thank you for that, sweetheart. And it's on the 4th and 5th. And then we have one in Holland. And I must say, I am really excited about that, Ruchika. And I would love you to speak a little more about the class, about the dates, about the venue and stuff.
Sure, it'll be a pleasure. I live in Den Haag, and the classes that are rolling out with Channa in October are the Talk to the Entities introduction on Friday. Let me get the dates. It's, I think, the 12th of October, and 13th and 14th are the 2 days beginning class, which is where you can sign up and come. We can help you out with getting places to stay and any other information that you would like. And it will be from the morning till evening. So you'll be soaking up all the way into what entities are and learning different ways, I think, of communicating, of receiving, which we tend to just block out, not just from entities, but from a lot other things in life as well. And what would it create is beyond even my imagination. When we have the entities that are perhaps always around, many of them wanting to contribute to our efforts and create ease, rather than for us to block them out and say, no, I prefer the struggle over the ease. Thank you very much.
How true. How true. Absolutely, sweetheart. You know,
Yes.
it's said so beautifully because the Talk to the Entities New Beginnings is all about, you know, it's about clearing the entities, communicating with the entities, and receiving from the entities. And it's very much about communicating, clearing, and receiving everything that's not working in your life, too.
Here,
And,
can I just pop up this question from Sheetal, which is an amazing question, where she says, can we create this awareness only if we allow, or does it come naturally to you?
yeah, that's a really good question. So, you have this capacity already, okay? This is something that, guys, whether you like it or not, you already have it. Okay, I'm sorry, but you can't run away from that. The only way to run away from that capacity is to shut it down with fear, which is why we ask you, what potency are you hiding behind that fear? Because the only purpose of fear is to hide your potency. So when you do this class, when you are sitting in this class, what it does is it brings your barriers down completely to receiving awareness, to having greater awareness. And when you start to receive from entities, from the awareness, and it's not just about entities, it's about everything on this planet, it's about everything in this universe. I mean, it's not like I'll receive this, but I won't receive this, right? As of now, that's what we've been doing, and we've been cutting off our receiving from pretty much everything. So it's when you're willing to receive it all, is actually when you're able to create a life that you've been asking for.
And for receiving, we have to choose to hold on to our fear, because so long as fear is with us, is the space we've created for them to control us, rather than for us to be completely in the receiving space of contribution.
Absolutely.
Which is one of the questions which Vanita says, that what do we do when they take control of you? And Lizanne says, is pain an entity awareness?
Okay.
Or just any type of awareness you're not willing to receive?
Yeah. So the first question, what do we do? Well, what do we do when, what is the exact question, please? If you can just get it out.
What do we do when they take control of you?
Okay. So, sweetheart, they can't take control of you. The first misconception, again, people have, that they can take control of you. You can give control to them. You get that? they really cannot take control of you. It's just that simple. If you've given control to them, guess what? You can take it back. Yeah.
Okay, so there's one more question, Princess. Bhavna asks, so if I have had sincerely heaviness in my body, especially stomach, on my shoulder and my hands, and have tried all medical treatment, is it a sign?
Is it? What do you know? Have you asked a question?
Bhavna, if you're on, you could unmute yourself and talk to her. Okay.
You can also choose to be on the introduction call that
Yeah,
I'm going to
I'm there. I'm
first.
so sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm about this that I have been trying a lot of it. I feel a lot of heaviness in my body and my shoulders. I was just going through starting from the class. There's constant pain in my hand as if there's something which is like I can't even describe. As if there's some the pull is going on. How do I describe? Is it the sign? Is it what is it? Because I have tried all the medical treatment and all the exercise and everything, but it is
That's
like
always ask. When nothing is changing, there's always a different question to ask, right?
okay,
Have you asked, are these entities? Is this an entity awareness that I am resisting? What
okay.
is it entities?
So I would just be very honest about that. Right now, through the session, we were talking about it and about your body changes. I was having this very constant pain in my right hand, and I was just asking the same question which you asked me, and I saw some changes in it. I
Awesome.
swear, I felt a
That's simple,
little
right?
lighter. I saw something was just different.
Yes, Bhavna, it's that simple, sweetheart. Thank you for acknowledging that, because now is when you can change that. It's only when you acknowledge that is when you can change the pain. Thank you. That's fabulous. Yes. Yes, it's that simple. Life isn't meant to be that simple, right? Which is why we make it
Absolutely.
complicated.
Chandana, I have a question.
Yes,
That's
yes.
hidden guidance.
What else is possible? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chandana, the word talk to the entities, the term talk to the entities. So, when I kind of spoke to people,
Yeah.
I'm like, talk to the entities? Do we really do that? I mean, how do we talk to them?
Yeah.
So the topic itself is talk to the entities, which is it's not awareness with the entities, it's talking to the entities.
Yes.
But whereas we talk about being aware of the entities, but yet the term is talk to them. So you're getting the mix match with the terminology.
Okay. So, Kanika, I'd like to ask you, can you actually talk to somebody? Can you actually receive from somebody if you're not even aware that they are there? And also about this, about classes, when we name classes, it's a lot about what do you get from the name? What do you receive from it? And how many people use that to literally fuel their fear?
Yeah.
Everything that is, can we destroy and unfair it all, please?
Yes.
Yes,
Bottom
please.
down, good and bad, bottom buck, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. Look at the number of people on this call. Awesome. Thank you all for
Oh,
joining us. This is all because you all have the capacity. You all have the capacity and you all want to know more. Like, what is that?
yes, like Anupama here says, I just lost my dad a few days back and all I do is miss him. Can I talk to him? Is that what facilitating would mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, in some cases, yes. I did have a class in Gurgaon recently where a lady lost her child when the child was a few months, and today it's been 16 years since the child is gone, and she still cries and she still holds on to the energy of the child. And in that one class, she was able to let go. She was able to facilitate the child. And she was able to facilitate the child into a different dimension or to choose a different body. And there was so much of relief in her body. I mean, it was so beautiful to see the transition in a matter of moments. That is the magic of this class, guys. It's truly
Right.
a gift.
I'm getting goosebumps, and so did Lizanne just right that my whole body is tingling with it. It's such a
It was something that I have never experienced. Right there in front of you is this mother, and then it's like it was just so quick. And for 16 years of suffering, of pain, of holding on, today she calls me and she says, "Thank you. I can finally receive my son and have fun with him. Who's all of 15 today."
what else is possible?
How is this possible?
Yes, absolutely.
How much of our receiving have we shut down? How much of your receiving from your partners, from your friends, from business, from money have you shut down because of not receiving the awareness of entities? Right and wrong, good and bad, good and bad, online shots, boys and beyonds. Yeah.
Chandana, I have a question. Hi, Chandana.
Hi, darling.
Hi, Chandana. I have a question. I've heard in some of the classes, like 85% of entities are willing to clear. Is it so?
So I must tell you all, Gagan is this wonderful, wonderful being who's hosted me or talked to the entity class in Nagpur.
Yes, and it was
And
so
she created the most fabulous class. Thank you, Gagan, for being on, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandana. I'm really willing to attend all your classes and even talk to the entity again.
Thank you.
Gagan, then you can come down to Hyderabad again.
Yeah. So, Chandana, can you please tell?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm willing to.
I'd love to have you here in Hyderabad, Gagan. So I wouldn't say 85% or 100%, but I would definitely say that most of them don't know that. Most of the entities who are still hanging around don't even know that they don't have a body anymore. Most of them. And most of them just want to be acknowledged. So they're hanging around to be acknowledged. Some of them do have unfinished jobs. But all of that in the intro class, guys. Hop on the intro class on the first that we have.
2nd September.
Oh, 2nd September. Right. Is it on the 2nd September for Holland also, Ruchika? No, right?
You're muted.
Holland is 9th September for the online introduction.
Yes. So Holland is 9th September for the introduction. And for India, I think we are changing it to the
Yes,
1st of
first.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, Reshma. See,
No
Reshma
problem.
is
So,
awesome woman who coordinates everything for me. I see you have lots of questions. I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to take them all, sweethearts, because I have another call now. And I'd love you all to be on the intro so I can take your questions then, or to be in the beginnings after that.
Yes, I wonder what else is possible with entities from here on.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Absolutely. So all of you that whose awareness brought you to this call, I would urge you to choose so that you can create more in your life and create ease, joy, and glory for yourself, for those in your family, and yes, keep spreading consciousness. Thank you, and so grateful to have you on the call.
Right?
and Chandana, really super.
To me, can we create more money with entity classes? So, Gagan, are you creating more money after doing the entity class?
Yes. Thank you so much. Entities are really, it's not entity, but they're really gifting me.
Yes, you're willing
Yes,
to receive
possible.
greater, right? So when you're willing to receive greater, you're willing
Yeah.
to receive absolutely.
It was really awesome. We really had a
I just
2
want
days
to answer
activity
this.
of Nagpur. So looking
Thank you.
forward
Yes.
to.
I just want to answer this one girl's question here. I feel it could be a contribution to everybody. And she's asking, have you been able to cure fibromyalgia completely? And the answer is yes. Yes, I have. And it's beautiful the way I've been able to, because no medicine was able to change that. No number of therapies were able to change that. Just using the tools of access consciousness and allowing myself to acknowledge that I have this phenomenal capacity with entities has been able to change that. So what else is possible for everybody there who has decided and concluded that no physical pain can change, no financial pain can change, no relationship pain can change, and no body pain can change? What all can you create indeed with this class?
So, Channa, are you saying our whole life will change? Because
Am I? Did I say that in different words?
yes, because now,
In English, yes, everything will change.
Oh my God, that would be too boring. You know, we hold on so dearly to a lot of our pains and traumas and dramas. Come on, guys, don't change so much. Don't. Thank you so much for this fantastic call. It was awesome.
Thank you for creating it, and thank you for being the phenomenal creator, Ruchika, that you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for being
Thank you so
on,
much.
everybody. Thank you,
Bye.
Kanika, for creating the next class in Hyderabad. I am excited.
Chandana, I would like to say, so the people choosing and talk to the entities, you all are more than welcome to come to Hyderabad to attend the class with Chandana,
Yeah.
which is on the 4th and 5th of September.
Yes. Yes.
So we would love to have you here.
Our Casper the friendly ghost. She's everywhere. She's in Holland, she's in Hyderabad, she's in Gurgaon, everywhere.
What if the entire Holland comes to Hyderabad?
Think I can fly around like they can, from one city to another. Come on, babe.
See, if we come to Hyderabad, we'll have biryani. If you come to Holland, we'll have patat. And Anita, what else can we
What
give
else
them in
is
Holland?
How much fun can we have? Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, girls. I love this call. I would love to be on for longer, but I got to rush now. So thank you for being my friends. Thank you. I love you all. And just know everything is possible. Anything is possible. And you can change anything. And you truly can be the source of your own creation.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
bye. See you guys.
Okay. Chandra, I have one question, please. Last question. Hello.
I think she's gone.
Anna, are you there?
She's left, I think.
Yes, she's left the meeting. I'll see you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
All right.